anyways, the last 2 days of the week is going to be focusing on contracts and criminal law, and so we're going to be talking a bit more about my first lecture in contracts, and honestly, it's probably the least ambiguous or least abstract of the forms of law we've discussed so far, but I can say that it's still going to be abstract. The phrase, what's the answer to every question? It depends, is definitely going to be very real in contracts. But we can go over what contracts are and then give a little example of purchasing a car to outline what a contract is and what a contract isn't. Okay, so a contract, according to the second restatement of torts, is an agreement between two or more persons as to something that, let's see, let me actually find, yes, okay, so a contract is an agreement between two or more persons as to something that is to be done in the future by one or both of them. For lawyers, contracts usually is used to refer to an agreement that has a legal effect. So, in other words, an simple contract can be broken down into 4 parts. So first there needs to be an offer, then there's a bargaining stage, an acceptance, and then considerations that are at stake. So what is an offer? Well, an offer is when somebody says, I will, in the instance of car, is I will sell this car to you for $15,000. And it's important that you note that I will. And the intention here is it needs to be clear, because there are things that say, I want to sell this car for $15,000, but that doesn't mean that it necessarily could be an offer. But an I will, as an actual word, it's most definitely an offer. And similarly, if you walk into a restaurant and you see the prices on a menu, that is an offer, because you're offering up the product with the price associated with it. Okay, so that's an offer. Let's talk about the bargaining stage. During the bargaining stage, after an offer has been given, so the offerer has made an offer to the offeree can either ignore, accept, reject, or provide a counteroffer. So if they ignore it, nothing happens, and that you can sit there awkwardly, or the offerer can reassert, or the offer expires, or they can take back the offer. You can accept the offer by saying, yes, I want that car for $15,000. Or you can reject the offer saying, no, I don't want that car. Or you can provide a counteroffer saying, I won't pay that car for $15,000, but I will pay for that car for $10,000. So let's talk a little bit more about each of these little considerations that we have here. So acceptance should be, yes, there are ways that an acceptance is not exactly a yes, meaning, yeah, I want that car, or, yeah, I don't know if I want that car, or, I'm not sure if I want that car, or I should get that car. So there's lots of fluctuations in the tone that can make it question whether or not it was an acceptance or not. But the easiest way to determine if it's an acceptance is by the offeree saying yes. Okay, what about a rejection? Same kind of thing. The easiest way to do a rejection is no. But a rejection can, in some instances, be more difficult to discern. Like, I shouldn't get that car, but I don't know if I want that car. But I don't know. I'm not very good at the inflection stuff. Anyways. Or they could provide a counteroffer. So this is the last thing that you could do during the bargaining thing. So a counteroffer is actually seen as a rejection of the initial offer and a opening of a new offer. So, for example, you say, I won't take it for $15,000, but I will take it for $10,000. So you rejected the $15,000, and now you are offering $10,000. If the seller of the car says no, then you can't just say, okay, I'll do it for $15,000 then, because legally speaking, that offer of $15,000 is now off the table. And there's some things there, unless if the other party reinstates that offer by saying, I will sell this car to you for $15,000. Okay, so acceptance is saying yes, and that's when the contract is formed, and then the considerations are actually the things that's bargained for. It's not the what was on the mind or what are we thinking, but it's the things that are contracted for. In the case of the car, the consideration is the car and the $15,000 or the $10,000 that was agreed upon. Okay, so what makes a contract other than the basic structure of a contract? Well, it needs to be enforceable. And what that means is that a court will take that agreement and make sure that it is fulfilled. If someone is in violation of the agreement, the court will provide a remedy for the non-breacher. And then additionally, there's some things about performance, breach, and remedies, things that you can do about that, but we're going to get into that way more in depth in the future. But for now, it's important to know that a contract is an agreement between two parties, a promise between two parties that is enforceable and has legal effect. And that's what we got into today. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Law Schoolers. Before I let you go, there are 4 things I want to say. The first thing is if you enjoyed these episodes and if you enjoyed the website, I would invite you to go and join Law Schoolers Pro. And you can do that by going to lawschoolers.com/join. It's a way for you to support us, but there's also a lot of features there that I think you will enjoy. Second thing is that nearly all of our episodes are unedited. The only ones that aren't are pre-law materials, and the reason for that is so you can actually see the legal material in its raw form as I'm learning it as well. The third thing is that the information contained in these episodes are specifically only for educational purposes. They're not to be used as legal advice, and with that, the fourth thing is if it is used as legal advice, we are not liable. That is, Law Schoolers is not liable for any legal outcomes. Thank you again for enjoying the show. Have a good one.